All right, so as we kick off 2021 with my first TBR of the calendar year, I am going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to try to really be a little bit more true to the books that I put on my TBR, because a lot of times what happens is I put these books on my TBR and then all of a sudden I just totally blow them up. So I'm going to try a different approach this year and we'll see how it goes. My TBR coming up next. Okay, so first up in the month of January is a book that I need to finish up. I'm about a third of the way through, A Heart and a Body in the World. I've talked about this numerous times on different videos. If you want to know more about it, just go look at some past videos and you'll find out more about it. But it's a traumatic event and a coping mechanism that the main character takes to deal with it, and you slowly find out about what the trauma was as you go on. So should be a fun read. A little bit of a slow burn, but so far so good. Okay, so I have 6 more books, 5 of which are actually Book of the Month selections, including 3 that were my January 2021 Book of the Month selections. And so the first one I'm going to talk about is Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker. And just a quick little piece on this one. And I think you'll see that some of these books have some similarities in terms of the type of stories that they are. Not exactly, but there's some similarities here. So one night, 15-year-old Cass and her 17-year-old sister Emma disappear. The family car is found deserted at a nearby beach, but the authorities are baffled by what could have become of them. 3 years later, with just the clothes on her back and no evidence or credibility to back up her claims of what happened, Cass returns home without her sister. Her tale is one of kidnapping and isolation and the mysterious island where the two were held. So you got the kind of the classic sister mystery, and there's another one that's coming up here that I'm going to also be targeting to read this month that kind of falls in line there. So I like a good thriller, a good mystery. Hopefully there'll be clues in there that'll be sprinkled so you'll be able to solve it and figure out what happened and get some insight. So there's some work that you can do, and maybe you too can help solve the mystery. That's what Robert Stack used to say, I think, on Unsolved Mysteries. So we'll see if I can solve this mystery. Next up is A Danger to Herself and Others by Alyssa Scheinmel. And this one is interesting because of the venue in which it largely seems to take place. 4 walls, 1 window, no way to escape. Hannah knows there's been a big mistake. She doesn't need to be institutionalized. What happened to her roommate at the summer program was an accident. As soon as the doctors and judge figure out that she isn't a danger to herself or others, she can go home to start her senior year. Those college applications aren't going to write themselves. Until then, she's determined to win over the staff and earn some privileges so she doesn't lose her mind to boredom. Then Lucy arrives. Lucy has her own baggage, and she's the perfect project to help keep Hannah's focus off all she is missing at home. But Lucy may be the one person who can get Hannah to confront the secrets she's avoiding and the dangerous games that landed her in confinement in the first place. So, I don't know, could be maybe a closed circle trope there, taking place in, sounds like maybe a psychiatric hospital. So this sounds like it's going to be an interesting book. It looks like a fairly quick read, a little over 300 pages. So I'm looking forward to jumping into this one. Identical twins. One wants what the other has. How far will she go to get it? Twin sisters Iris and Summer are startlingly alike, but beyond what the eye can see lies a darkness that sets them apart. Cynical and insecure, Iris has long been envious of Summer's seemingly never-ending good fortune, including her perfect husband, Adam. Called to Thailand to help her sister sail the family yacht to the Seychelles, Iris nurtures her own secret hopes for what might happen on the journey. But she unexpectedly finds herself alone in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and everything changes. When she makes it to land, Iris allows herself to be swept up by Adam, who assumes that she is Summer. So you got the mystery that's starting to unveil there, and the sister dynamic where one sister wants the other sister's life, twins wants the other's life. So I'm kind of curious to see where this one's going to go. Next up is the first of my 3 newest books, and the first one is The Survivors by Jane Harper, and I'm really excited about these next 3 books, so just want to let you know about that, in case you're wondering. Kieran Elliott's life changed forever on the day a reckless mistake led to devastating consequences. The guilt that still haunts him resurfaces during a visit with his young family to the small coastal community he once called home. Kieran's parents are struggling in a town where fortunes are forged by the sea. Between them all is his absent brother, Ben. When a body is discovered on the beach, long-held secrets threaten to emerge: a sunken wreck, a missing girl, and questions that have never washed away. Stunning and atmospheric, Jane Harper's The Survivors is another triumph by the acclaimed author of The Dry and The Last Man. Even the deepest secrets rise to the surface. So it sounds like, again, you got kind of a family dynamic that's going on there that seems kind of interesting. You got a small town, perhaps another closed circle trope. So it sounded kind of interesting, so I thought I would pick this one up. Another book of the month selection. Next up is Black Book by Mateo Ascarepor. Hopefully I got that right. This one, I have to admit, the title just kind of grabs your attention right off the bat. I mean, how could it possibly not grab you? But there was more to it here that I thought was interesting. Okay. For fans of Sorry to Bother You and The Wolf of Wall Street, a blazing satirical debut about a young man given a shot at stardom as the lone black salesman at a mysterious, cult-like, and wildly successful startup where nothing is as it seems. So you've got a person of color going into a certain type of environment, and this happens probably almost all of us can probably relate in some way to that kind of a story in our personal lives, or if we can't directly, we probably know someone who can, who has probably told us a similar story, or we've heard a similar story, maybe second or third hand. So that part is interesting. As I got into this book a little bit more, and you see almost kind of like the Shawshank Redemption a little bit. For those who are familiar with historic black literature, Sam Greenlee's The Spook Who Sat by the Door is also something that I thought about with this particular book. So I'm actually really excited to read this one. I might move this one up my list because it just sounds really, really interesting. You know, the satirical part also kind of grabs me as well too. Pretty cool cover art as well. So really looking forward to checking out this one. Next up is Still Lies by Maria Hummel. And first of all, I really like the cover art. The cover art's pretty cool. Hopefully you can kind of see that a little bit, but it was actually pretty cool cover art. So definitely an attention grabber right there. All right, so let me jump into this one, and I think you'll get pretty quick why I was interested in this book if you know me well enough here. Okay, a young editor at a Los Angeles art museum finds herself pulled into the disturbing and dangerous world of a famous artist who goes missing on the opening night of her exhibit. So you've got the mystery, of course, and you've got the intrigue of a dangerous world that's out there. And so there's some things already that are grabbing me right off the bat. Okay, here we go. I'll read this next little part right here. Kim Lord is an avant-garde figure, feminist icon, and agent provocateur in the LA art scene. Her groundbreaking new exhibition, Still Lives, features portraits in which she depicts herself as famous, murdered women. The Black Dahlia, Chandra Levy, Nicole Brown Simpson, among many others. And the works are as compelling as they are disturbing, implicating a culture that is too accustomed to violence against women. As the city's richest art patrons pour into the Rock Museum's opening night, all the staff, including editor Maggie Richter, hope the event will be enough to save the historic institution's flailing finances. Except that Kim Lord never shows up to her own gala. So you got a lot going on here. You can see the layers here. Just a whole lot of things going on. And I'm just really interested in this and the mystery of it and the historical fiction of it, with some famous cases of women that were the victims of acts of violence. So this is really intriguing to me. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I feel like I struck gold with the 3 picks that I had for Book of the Month in January 2021. All right, so books, and more books for January 2021. I'm excited about reading. I hope you are too.